I want to thank you for joining us for the second time in as many weeks. This is an indication of the level of activity of the National Football Program, and we expect it will be even more intense in the next few months. Last week, we focused on our senior girls. Today is the turn of the men. We are very pleased to make an announcement about our senior men's team, the Reggae Boyz. As you know, we are in preparation mode for important tournaments, beginning with the CONCACAF Gold Cup, which actually starts in July. As you know, we have committed to providing within our means all the support the technical staff needs. And this, of course, includes international games against competitive opponents, the best available players, and the necessary equipment and machinery. So today, I'm very pleased to announce that the Reggae Boyz will be involved in 3 games as follows. First of these will be on Thursday, June 3, against Japan in Sapporo, followed by a game against Serbia on Monday, June 7 in Kobe. And of course, the final game against the Japan Olympic team in Nagoya on Saturday, June 12. Some facts you ought to know. Japan is ranked number 28 on the FIFA ranking lists. Serbia is ranked number 25. Japan is planning big things in the upcoming Olympic Games. In 2012 Olympic Games, Japan finished 4th. In 2016 Olympics, Japan finished 10th. Now on home soil, expectations will be extremely high. Some information on previous games, head-to-head between Jamaica and the other opponents. Japan versus Jamaica on June 26, 1998. Japan won, Jamaica 2. And incidentally, both those goals were scored by our senior men's coach, Mr. Theodore Tapper Whitmore. Japan versus Jamaica on October 10, 2014. Japan 1, Jamaica 0. Previous game with Serbia, head-to-head. Serbia versus Jamaica, May 26, 2014. Serbia 2, Jamaica 1. We are planning that players and staff members from their respective locations will depart on May 30 for arrival in Japan the following day, May 31. I should say that we are satisfied that the arrangements for our players and staff members are comprehensive in respect of safety in this current pandemic. I want to thank all those involved in the relevant negotiations in order for these games to come to fruition. And I'm sure the technical staff is very appreciative. I want to wish Coach Whitmore and his team the very best on this journey, which we are walking and sometimes running together. Thank you so much. And again, may I ask of your commitment, your support, and may God continue to bless you all.
Good morning to everyone, all protocol observed. First of all, it is with great anticipation and indeed tremendous pleasure that we received news last week on the approval of the local Premier League by the government of Jamaica. After 15 months of inactivity by the local football fraternity, we finally have a go-ahead to restart. One cannot underestimate the magnitude of this decision and its potential positive impact on lives that have been destabilized due to the ongoing pandemic. Players, coaches, administrators, and even those who have for many years relied on domestic football for a livelihood and emotional relief, I am very sure would have received the news with immense joy. We must commend President Ricketts and his team, as well as the leadership of the PFJL, for their tireless effort in getting this approval across the line. Appreciation should be expressed also to the ministries of health, local government, and sports for their diligent work and eventual approval. With this approval of the Jamaica Premier League, the door is now open. Opportunities are also beckoned at international level. While you train and play hard, please also exercise diligence and discipline with regards to the health and safety protocols that have been agreed. This is an important year for the Reggae Boyz insofar as international competitions are concerned. The CONCACAF Gold Cup is slated for July, and, and the FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifiers will kick off in September. We will be very busy during the second half of this year. We welcome the two matches against Japan and Serbia. These are important games to fine-tune our preparation for Gold Cup. We anticipate a very competitive roster and view this as positive. Each player, domestic and foreign base, must use every available opportunity to perform and press their case for selection. We have spent the last 3 years looking, molding, and preparing. Now is the time to deliver. We need each player to challenge himself and take responsibility, to be accountable on and off the pitch for performance and conduct. The standards and expectations are high. I must also again commend President Ricketts and his team at the JFF, as well as the national players for resolving on the contract negotiation, and therefore removing this obstacle so we can focus for the assignments ahead of us. All wells that ends well, as they would say. We need the entire country behind the Reggae Boyz. We need the corporate sector to support the JFF and its activities. This is beneficial for Jamaica. Let us all join hands and hearts as we face the future together with optimism and belief. We can achieve, and I am very confident, with a collective and unified approach. We will. Now, I will present the 30-man squad that will travel to Japan to you all. 30-man squad, we have Andre Blake, Dennis Taylor, Jadine White, Dylan Barnes as the 4 goalkeeper. We have Liam Moore, Adrian Mariappa, Casey Palmer, Kemar Lawrence, Amari Bell, Wesley Harding, O'Neill Fisher, Alvas Powell, Devon Williams, Kevin Lambert, Ravel Morrison, Blair Targat, Juna Flemings, Damian Lowe, Luca Levy, Tyreek McGee, Bobby Reed, Lamar Walker, Shamar Nicholson, Corey Burke, Javon East, Andre Gray, Jashan Anglin, Ethan Pinnock, Michael Hector, and Kevin Isaac. And that will complete the 30-man squad that will travel to Japan for the upcoming games.
A very interesting squad you have there, strong from top to bottom. All right, we're gonna go into question and answers. We ask that you raise your hand and you'll be acknowledged. For those people who don't understand, there at the bottom of your screen, there's a reaction icon there. You click on the reaction, then you will see a hand. You click on the hand and it comes up to your name, and then we will acknowledge. The very first question comes from Mr. Levy. That's Leighton Levy. So unmute, Leighton. Go ahead.
Morning, Tapa. Morning, President Ricketts. Everybody, good morning. Tapa, the squad that you named, of course, is a very strong squad. Of course, there are some notable absences, people like Leon Daly and others who are usually in the squad. Can you give us a sense of how the practice matches will unfold and then eventually bedding in those players as you get closer to the World Cup and, of course, the World Cup qualifier?
I'm getting a feedback. I'm not hearing clearly.
I don't know. The feedback is not from me. I don't know where it's coming from. Hello? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, go ahead now.
No, I'm asking. I noticed that despite the strength of the squad, there are some notable names that are absent. People like Leon Daly, who usually is a starter, now that he's been in the squad, and of course some of the newer players who have been, have switched allegiance over the last few months. I'm asking, what's the plan once these games are underway in Japan and of course against Serbia? How do you see the other players eventually bedding in as you get closer to the World Cup and of course the World Cup qualifiers?
Well, again, thanks for the question, David. But the squad we name now is these 3 games are basically to fine-tune our preparation for the Gold Cup and the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. Again, you mentioned about Leon Bailey. Leon is an important member of the squad. He's also in good form, and look forward to him joining us. But however, the federation has a policy that to be called, each player have to sign a contract, and that's the outstanding matter with Leon. So we hope for a resolution as quick as possible. Jamal Lowe, who has played in the last game, he's out because of personal reason. So basically, we're using these games to fine-tune going into the Gold Cup and finalize for our World Cup qualification.
All right, let's go to Simon Croskill. Sorry, Simon Preston.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Coach. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I just wanted to know from you, based on the squad that you've called, if the possibility exists heading into the Gold Cup and qualifying that we may have a different crop involved, because as you know, the provisional pool for the Gold Cup, that list has to be sent to CONCACAF quite shortly.
Well, yes, and again, just looking back on the why we name a 30-man squad, probably 8 to 9 of our players will return after the first 2 games to their clubs, because now we're outside of the FIFA window. So again, we want to see how quick we can handle certain situation in these players, getting the requisite documentation for us to move on.
All right, let's go to Crystal Davis. Crystal, just a second. Yeah, go ahead, Crystal.
Good morning, all. My question is for Coach. Coach, how much are you looking forward to going up against Japan? And also, performance-wise, what can we expect from the selected players?
Well, again, the squad is deep. I know all the players, they are anxious. Everyone wants to be a part of it. For me personally, it's always a pleasure playing against Japan. We saw it in '98, but again, we have to look beyond. So we expect a good performance, because again, my thing is it makes no sense we give a good account of ourselves in these practice game Gold Cup and not making it to Qatar 2022. So all what we are doing now, our main focus, our main objective is reaching Qatar 2022.
That's it, Crystal.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Robert, not Robert Williams yet, Robert. Can you unmute Robert?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Bailey. Coach Whitmore, there were talks about Mikhail Antoine from West Ham. I notice he's not in the squad. What is the situation with him?
Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, we are only selecting players who sign the agreed contract with the JFF.
In that case, then, Coach Whitmore, can you outline to us the players who are not available because of the fact that they have not signed the contract? Give us a number as far as that is concerned.
Well, again, it's only Leon from the original squad. But apart from Mikel Antonio, again, Campbell is out, but Norman Campbell is out because of personal reason again. So I think basically 99% of the players would have signed the contract.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
Can you mute? All right. Do we have any other questions? All right, let's go to Mr. Levy again.
All right, Sir Ricketts, in response to what Theodore just said about Leon not signing a contract, and of course the situation with Antonio, I think maybe his transfer is still in the process of happening. Can you update us as to what those circumstances will be, or what you anticipate them to be in the coming weeks?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Leighton. Boy, you must have been a bright boy at school. You always want to relate to your principals. Thank you very much, Leighton. Your question has to do with Leon, and just like the coach would have indicated, there's a little bit of a tardiness on behalf of Leon and his management. They have not yet signed the contract. I think we would have gotten a verbal commitment that he would do so in short order. Same thing goes for Mikel Antonio. His agent has indicated that they have not yet gone through the document in its entirety, so they will do so in short order as soon as they have gone through and will be comfortable with the content of the document. So we are expectant, we are hopeful that these contracts will be signed soon. And based on indication from Coach Whitmore, these players certainly will be part of the setup as soon as the contracts are signed. So too, there could be some additions, and we're just waiting to conclude discussions with some other players.
Let's go to Robert. There are two Roberts online. Robert Williams and Robert, the other Robert. Yeah, go ahead, Robert, please.
We heard recently that there would have been some addition to the technical staff. The name Paul Hall was being bandied about. What is the current situation as far as the addition to the technical staff is concerned?
Well, of course, yes, we definitely will be strengthening the technical department. We have been having negotiations with some other coaches. None of them have yet been concluded. As soon as they are, then Robert, you'll be the first to know. But we are having these negotiations with some other members. Of course, have the part of the technical setup, and these have been persons who've been recommended by Coach Whitmore. So we are still in the process of negotiating. And like I said, as soon as these negotiations are completed, then we make a formal announcement.
Thank you very much, Mr.
All right, Crystal, over to you again.
Thank you, Earl. My question is for the president. So, Mr. Ricketts, quite a few football fans are desperate to see the Jamaican men's side take on the Nigerian men's side. Can you put that fixture in the pipeline?
Okay, we will definitely try for that, Crystal. We have an agent that does that kind of a thing for us. So we'll definitely have discussions with him and see how best we could start and then expedite that process.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other question? All right, let's get back to Simon Preston.
Mr. Ricketts, good morning. I hope you are well. As you're aware, right now, the pandemic is still having an effect on Japan. There's even talk about the Olympics and how that is going. Have you been in communication with the Japanese Football Federation and how things are going there and how the fixtures will be and the protocols when we enter the Asian country?
Well, Simon, this discussion has been going on for a long time, and you probably would be very aware that we have been trying to negotiate and to sign this contract for a protracted period. And all of this would have been because of trying to navigate this pandemic. So we have had extensive discussions in this regard. And of course, all protocols, detailed protocols have been put in place by the Japanese FA in, of course, conjunction and collaboration with the Japanese government. In fact, we were instructed not to make an announcement, an official announcement, because the Japanese government were waiting to formalize a new protocol system that would be able to accommodate us. Now that that has been done, we have been privileged to make this announcement. So yes, Simon, number of protocols would have been put in place, and certainly we have been mandated to ensure that we meet all these requirements.
Any other question? Leighton.
All right, Tapa, from a technical standpoint or tactical, depending how you want to look at it, with the number of new players or new additions to the squad, do you foresee a change in your setup, in your formation, in your strategies as you get forward to the major competitions, or do you think it's going to be the same? And can you just say, if it's the same, can you just say, what are some of those foundations that makes it necessary for you to keep the same structure?
There won't be a lot of changes to it, Leighton. We have, as I said before, we have built a squad for the past 3 years, so the pieces we are getting are pieces that we want to fit in that missing puzzle. So there won't be a lot of changes